Hi everybody, thank you for coming and joining us. So today we're going to do a simple zucchini ribbon salad. So for me, it's pretty simple to make, just a few ingredients. The main thing is cutting your zucchini. You can actually use zucchini and squash, but since my zucchini is so large, I'm just gonna stick to this one. So when you start off, of course, I guess I should tell you what ingredients go inside. So simply you're gonna peel this, which I'm gonna use this little contraption here, which is just like a mandolin, and it's going to turn this zucchini into ribbons. You also need some rice wine vinegar, some soy sauce, little black pepper, crushed red pepper if you like, sesame oil, and you also can put sesame seeds if you like. So I'm going to get started. First, of course, we're gonna pre-wash everything, and then you're gonna cut off the edges, well, the top part of your zucchini, not the edge. Now, if you don't have a mandolin at home or this spiralizer, you can actually just thinly slice them as well with the knife, and it'll still have the same effect. I'm gonna have to cut this in half. So I'm gonna slide the zucchini piece, secure it on the spiralizer, get that on in there, and start to ribbon our noodles. So basically, the only thing I have to do with this contraption is just turn the knob. But sometimes you do have to cut down your vegetables depending on how long or large they are. And you also can use the food processor as well. You can chop it up, julienne it, things like that. So that's another option if you don't want to just use a knife or if you don't have a spiralizer handy. So let's see. Oh, here they go. Here they come. So I'm going to do this whole zucchini, and it should be a pretty large amount. And since I only have one visitor today, we will have a very tasty lunch. I'm just gonna lift these up and put them inside the bowl. So you have a nice ribbons of zucchini. And what I like about the spiralizer is once you secure it on to the device itself, when it holds it in place, it actually makes like the little core portion of it come out, which is pretty cool too. So that's it for the first piece. Now the second piece. So I know personally for myself, I rather use the smaller contraption because sometimes using a food processor is just more work. More parts, more work. So we're gonna try this again with the larger piece. I'm gonna cross our fingers and hope for the best. My cut was a little uneven. Here we go. And since this device really doesn't have a lot of large features except for the blades themselves, this is something that you can actually have the children do as well. Once the parent actually secures the vegetable in place, children can definitely help out with this as well. And maybe next time I'll bring my 8-year-old so she can help us. So this is most of the work that you'll do, and we're almost done. So now we have our little ribbons, and I'm actually just going to break some of them apart by hand since they were so long. And once you finish cutting or spiralizing your zucchini, the next step will be to gather your ingredients for your sauce. And me personally, this salad is really good once you let it set. And I like to put mine in the fridge, so it just really, really brings out the flavors. And it gives the zucchini a chance to soak in every seasoning that you put inside, even though it's only a few. So I think I've broken them up enough. So now I'm gonna get started on the sauce. And this machine is so easy to clean, comes right apart. Oh, and it has these little suctions as well on the bottom of it, so it actually secures itself to the surface, so you don't have to worry about really any accidents happening, because it does not move until you physically pull it off of the table. So I'm just gonna move this out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna gather up our ingredients for our sauce. So the sauce calls for 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, and it really doesn't matter the brand. It's really up to your taste. This recipe also contains sesame oil toasted. And like I said, the sesame seeds are optional. It also calls for sugar, but it's totally up to you. But this rice wine vinegar actually contains sugar already, so I'm not going to add additional sugar to this recipe. If you like a little bit of heat, crushed red pepper. But if you don't like spice, you can definitely omit this as well. And then, of course, our great friends, a little pepper and a little salt. We always typically use sea salt, and you can use any ground pepper. It could be fresh or it could be already ground. So since this zucchini was sort of large, I'm gonna start off with going right with the recipe and just only using the 3 tablespoons. But once we mix it all together, I may go back and add additional sauce just to make sure that all of the zucchini is coated before we get ready to serve. So here we go. So I got my little measuring spoon. We're gonna put 3 of these inside our bowl. 1, 2, 3. And also with the soy sauce, we actually chose to use low sodium again because some people are watching it with the salt, you know, and salt's really not the best for us. So typically I always go with the low sodium. Now we're gonna add the rice wine vinegar. We're gonna add 2 of these. Oh, it smells so good already. Now we're gonna add toasted sesame seed oil. It only calls for 1 tablespoon, but depending on your taste, you can definitely add more. So I'll start off with 1, but I'm sure I'm gonna go back and add another. So we got that inside, and the next, we're not gonna use sugar like I said. I am gonna add the pepper flakes, and I like a lot of heat, but it only calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon. I may do a little bit more. I'm gonna just take the top off because I like to eat. I'm not even gonna measure this. You see that? So good, and it smells amazing already. And of course, at this time, you will also add your sesame seed if you like. Since I don't have a whisk today, I'm gonna use my trusty fork again. And just give it a quick stir. And like I said, because of the amount of zucchini that we have, I'm sure I'm gonna make another round of the sauce for this, adding a little salt and a little pepper to taste. I won't add as much black pepper since I put quite a bit of crushed red pepper. not a lot of salt at all. I'll give it a taste just to make sure. I would say about 2 pinches of salt should be fine, because again, the soy sauce has flavor and it contains salt already, so we really don't want to overdo it. Just give it a quick mix around. I'm gonna pour it on top of the zucchini and mix it around, and then test it out and see if we're gonna have to add some more. So here we go. Smells so good. I'm gonna give it a quick toss. And since I have my gloves, I'll just use my hands, but you can also toss it with your tongues as well. I just think that this is a good way to ensure that every piece of the zucchini gets some type of flavor into it. And if your ribbons are too long, again, you can take your knife and you can actually slice while they're in the bowl as well to change the length of them. You can cube them. It's really up to you. So sometimes when I do this, I'll just chop it right up. And there you have it. So I would put this in the fridge and let it chill just so the zucchini can absorb all the flavors together and make sure that they marry and mesh well. A quick chill for about maybe 30 minutes or less, because the zucchini is already cold itself, because I left mine in the fridge, so it's already has a nice little chill. So about 20 minutes or so in the fridge, and you're ready to serve. And you can garnish this with a little dill if you like, or any other fresh herb that you may have on hand. So thank you for joining us today, and this is our ribbon zucchini salad. Hope you guys enjoy.